Which city gives you a better life when you factor in safety, rent, food, transportation, and everyday stress? Nairobi or Abuja? If somebody give you the opportunity to move to one of these two African cities tomorrow, which one will you choose? Nairobi, Kenya, boasting East African capital, or Abuja, Nigeria, planned capital, surrounded by hills, massive roads, and some of the most expensive neighborhood in Nigeria? But forget the Instagram pictures for a moment, because today we are talking about the things people don't always show you: safety, rent, food, transportation, daily expenses, and most importantly, what does it actually feels like to live there? I've spent time around Africa cities and I've learned something. A city can look beautiful on camera and still be difficult to live in. So today, I'm putting Nairobi and Abuja head to head. And by the end, I'll tell you which city I will choose and why. Before we start, this isn't a video about proving that Kenya is better than Nigeria or Nigeria is better than Kenya. That's not the point. Both cities have wealthy neighborhoods, both have middle class neighborhoods, both have area where you need to be much more careful, and both cities can give you a completely different experience depending on where you live and how you live. So I'm looking at this from a normal person's perspective. If you are moving to work, if you are starting a business, if you are coming as an African professional, or if you are simply asking, where can I actually build a decent life? That's what we're answering. So Nairobi immediately feels like a major international city. You have the CBD, Westlands, Kilimani, Karen, Girigiri, and a huge mix of local businesses, international companies, restaurants, hotels, and entertainment. There's also something interesting about Nairobi. It has a very strong international atmosphere. You see tourists, expats, business, travelers, digital workers, African professionals from different countries. And that gives you the city a very different energy. But Abuja, then you come to Abuja, and Abuja feels different, but much spacious, much planned in many areas: wide roads, large government buildings, green spaces, hills, big houses, and some very impressive neighborhoods like Maitama, Asokoro, Wuse, Garki, Guzape. Abuja can give you that feeling of this is the capital, or just the catch. Abuja beautiful appearance doesn't automatically mean life here is cheap, and that's where things get interesting. Let's talk about the biggest questions: safety. And I'm going to be very careful here, because saying Nairobi is dangerous, it shouldn't be the case, or Abuja is safe, should not be the case either. It's simple, too simplistic. The reality is more complicated. Current international travel guidance warns about crime and other security risks in both countries. Kenya is currently under a US State Department Level 2 advisory, citing crime, kidnapping, terrorism, unrest, and traffic safety. Nigeria has a high overall US advisory level, with crimes and kidnapping, banditry, and listed and so many listed concerns. And Abuja has its own specific reality. The UK current travel guidance says that out, outer suburbs of Abuja can experience varying level of violence, and that safety of daily activity can be unpredictable, which is true. But there's the part sometimes people miss. Your experience of safety isn't just about the country. It's about your neighborhood, your transportation, your working hours, whether you're walking around at night, whether you're using public transportation, whether you're driving, whether you know the city. But in Nairobi, you need to understand the neighborhoods. You can't simply say, I'm staying in Nairobi. That's not enough information. Where? Are you staying in Kilamani? Are you staying in Westland? Are you staying in Karen? Or are you staying in the CBD or other neighborhoods in Kenya? Your experience can be completely different. Unlike any major city, you need situational awareness. Don't flash valuables. Be careful with your phone. Be conscious of your surroundings and don't assume that a busy street automatically means you're safe. So also Abuja. Abuja is similar. The neighborhood matters enormously. Some parts of Abuja can feel calm and comfortable, but you can also move into less familiar area and suddenly have a completely different experience. And this is one reason I wouldn't choose a city based purely on its reputation. I do choose based on where exactly am I living, where am I working, how am I moving around, and what is my lifestyle. Safety verdict. Let's look at it this way. Kenya is a very beautiful country, and the people of Kenya are very, very nice. So I'm giving either city a blanket safe level. For me, this category is drawn with location, lifestyle, deciding the winner. This is how we're going to decide the winner. We're going to draw with locations, lifestyle, and this is how we're going to know which city is winning. Now, let's get to the part that affects everybody. Money. Because you can survive almost anywhere until the bills arrive. Current crowdedness and cost data gives a broad indication that Nairobi is more expensive overall than Abuja, although the number varies considerably by category and the data set is limited. Experts from August 2026 comparison estimates Nairobi around 18 to 22% more expensive overall. But here's where the comparison gets interesting. In rent, you might assume Nairobi must be more expensive because it's an international city. Not necessarily. Housing pricing depends heavily on neighborhood, and some Abuja housing categories can actually be surprisingly expensive, which is true. The current comparison data shows Abuja normal area and studio housing significantly is above Nairobi in some categories, while some expensive area in comparison reverse that relationship. So let us not ask this and let us not argue this. Is Abuja expensive? Yes. Ask again. What where in Abuja? The same applies to Nairobi. Is Nairobi expensive? Yes. It all depends on the neighborhood and it all depends on where you are living in Nairobi or where you choose to live in Nairobi. When it comes to food, food can go either way depending on what you're eating. If you're eating local food and shopping locally, you can manage your budget much better. But once you start eating imported products, going to international restaurants and shopping in premium supermarkets, your wallet starts feeling it. And that's where Nairobi can become expensive. Okay, when it comes to transportation, this is another major differences. If you are really relying heavily on taxis or ride-hailing transportation, this can be very seriously expensive monthly. And if you own a car, then fuel, maintenance, insurance, parking, and traffic all enters the equation. Current comparison data indicates transportation costs are generally higher in Nairobi than Abuja. Although again, actual spending depends heavily on your lifestyle. Again, let's come to entertainment. What when we go to restaurants, malls, cafes, nightlife, movies, weekend activities, Nairobi gives you plenty of options, but those options cost money. Abuja also has a growing restaurant, hotel, entertainment scene, but your spending will depend heavily on where you go. Yeah, and again, let's now come to cost verdict. If you're living a relatively simple lifestyle and choose your neighborhood carefully, both cities can be manageable. But based on current comparison data, I do give the overall affordability edge to Abuja. One huge warning is this: housing can completely change the calculation because housing in Abuja is very, very, very expensive. So now let's talk about something people underestimate: How much energy does this city takes from you? Because cost isn't only money, it's also time, it's stress, it's traffic, it's waiting, it's commuting, it's getting home tired. Nairobi is a major urban center, and traffic can become part of your daily calculation. Abuja has wide roads and more spacious field in many areas, but distance can also become an issue. You can look at Abuja and think, wow, this road is beautiful. Then realize your destination is much farther away than you thought. But when you look at it the other way, and this is why I always tell people, don't judge a city from one weekend. Live there, commute there, buy grocery, pay bills, go to work, take a taxi, deal with traffic. That's when you discover the real city. Now, let's talk opportunity, because maybe you are not moving just for cheaper food. You are moving because you want to build something. Nairobi has a strong reputation as an East African business and technological hub, and a very beautiful city for that matter. There's a large international community and plenty of activities around technology, NGOs, tourism, finance, and multinational organizations. Abuja has a different advantage. It's political and administrative capital of Nigeria. We have government set up, diplomatic missions, construction, hospitality, security, professional services, real estate, and businesses that want access to Nigerian huge economy. So the question becomes, what are you trying to build? If you're targeting East Africa, an international organization, Nairobi can be very attractive. If your network and opportunity are strongly connected to Nigeria, Abuja can make more sense. And this is something people often ignore. The best city isn't necessarily the city with the lowest cost. It's the city where income, that is income potential, is strongest, limited relative to your expenses. Now, one may ask, where should I live? Do I live in Nairobi or do I choose to live in Abuja? Well, somebody will say, I choose Nairobi. Then if you choose Nairobi, why are you choosing Nairobi? You want, if I want to choose Nairobi, it will be because it has internationally connected East African environment. You can easily access. You want a more internationally connected Eastern African environment that will be close to Uganda, Tanzania, Kigali, Rwanda, and Namibia. But for you to enjoy a busy urban lifestyle, you are interested in technology, tourism, international organization, or regional businesses, and you are comfortable managing a potentially higher cost of living, that means you can choose Nairobi. But if it comes to Abuja, you must want more space. You prefer a calmer, more planned capital city atmosphere in many areas. Your career or business is connected to Nigeria, and you want potentially, so in a situation you want to keep some everyday expenses lower. But remember, neither city is perfect. So Nairobi versus Abuja, which one would I choose? Honestly, it depends on the stage of life I'm in. If I'm looking for international exposure, East African opportunities, and a more globally connected and urban environment, Nairobi goes for my attention. And but if I'm looking at Nigeria building within the Nigerian market, and I want the spacious capital city lifestyle, Abuja is extremely difficult to ignore. And when it comes to cost, current comparison data gives Abuja an overall affordability advantage, but don't blindly trust one internet calculator. Your neighborhood rent, transport, and lifestyle will determine your real monthly cost. And safety. Don't ask which city is safer. Ask which neighborhood, what lifestyle, and what precaution am I willing to take? Because that's the real reality check. So now I want to hear from you. If you had to choose today, Nairobi or Abuja, which city would you choose to live in and why? Drop your answer in the comment section. And if you want more honest comparison between African cities, subscribe to Nero's vlog, because we are not just visiting Africa, we are looking at how Africa actually works. See you in the next video.